Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour, brought to you by All Access MMA. I'm your host, Matthew Hawkins, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Ed Carbajal. This week, we have the pleasure to bringing back the most attended guest of the Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour, Fernando Gonzalez, as we approach our fourth year. He's, I believe, the fourth time on the show. So, Fernando, big fight coming up. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Oh, thank you guys, man. I love being able to talk about MMA and the fights that I got coming up. Obviously, it's gonna be a tough one. So I'm in the gym right now training, and as soon as we're done, I'm gonna get back to training.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about it before we started recording, so we might as well jump right into it. You got matched up with Maki Pitolo for Tuff-N-Uff in March 4th. So, like, what was your reaction? I know you're doing your homework and stuff, but what was your reaction of how'd the fight come to be? Like, tell us about it.
Yeah, I just got released from a job, and so I started training right away, and right away, I got hit up for this fight, and so for me, everything happens for a reason. So I was already in the right state of mind to be training, and yeah. So as soon as I got the call and I saw who I was fighting, that obviously lit a fire under me. He's a banger, and yeah, I'm just getting ready for this show. And then they told me the date, so that pumped me up even more because that's gonna be a big UFC weekend. I fight Friday, they fight Saturday, so Masvidal versus Covington. I'm trying to get tickets for that too. So as soon as I get my win, I go in there and watch them.
Awesome. Well, you're fighting for the Tuff-N-Uff promotion, which historically has been an amateur event, but has had, arguably the #1 amateur event in the history of mixed martial arts in the United States. They're going to a mixed card with pro. So you get to headline the first one. Like I said, extremely respected organization, likely to have pretty good crowd there and some people in the crowd that are going to want to watch you fight. What's your, do you, I know you don't like to look too far into the future, but do you kind of have you developed a little bit of a pathway with a win here of, I see you kind of angling with Bellator and stuff again. You were 7-2 in Bellator. The fact you're really not fighting for them still is, unless it's on you, is kind of strange. But do you have another path or another step you want to try to take after you pick up this victory in March?
Well, I'm hoping to get picked up by the UFC. It's in their city. A lot of the guys that will be at the fight for Masvidal Covington will be at our show. So after weigh-ins, they normally come and check out the show. A lot of the guys are on the card are probably in their camps. So they normally just to unwind after weigh-ins, they come and check out the show. So for me, that's going to give me the looks that I need. And hopefully I put on a great performance. That's what I'm training for. And if I get this win, hopefully I get the call on either a contender series or the UFC itself. But I'm all for it. And if not, I'll keep fighting with Tuff-N-Uff. It's a good show. It's a great show. And there's so many alumni that are from Tuff-N-Uff that are in the UFC now. So I think maybe 2 fights, 3 fights, and they'll give me the call in either way, depending on the performance, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the performance, how do you think you match up again? I mean, I feel like you guys are both kind of like take the center of the cage and swing for the fences. Like I'm expecting fireworks on this one. I mean, I literally only found out about it when Matt told me he was bringing you on. So, yeah. I mean, it's the fireworks feeling. It's rubbing off over here on the podcast too.
Yeah, no, he's a dynamic striker. I think it's going to be more of a striking battle. I have seen him shoot like on Julian Marquez. He was winning that fight up until he got caught in the 3rd round. So I would assume it's going to be a striking battle. But I'm training for everything. I know he's looking to get a win. He's on a 4 fight skid, I think, right now. So he's looking to get that win. So I know he's going to be fired up, and obviously me trying to come off that last loss that I had and get a big win, and that's what I'm gearing up for.
you know, it's kind of funny. We dog on the UFC website because they tend to be a little bit bad with their numbers. Well, while Googling you to, you know, check if there's anything new that I hadn't seen in the last couple of days, you're on the UFC website. You can't really see it as the Main Event Maniac, Fernando Gonzalez. And even more shocking, if you scroll down, your Octagon debut is February 3rd, 2022. Tonight, according to the UFC website, is your Octagon debut. So they have you at 11-3, but somehow you're on the UFC website as one of their fighters. So that's
Hey.
so. Hey, take it, and
That's,
you can
that's
always.
the first step. That's the first step. Now they just gotta throw me in now.
There it is. There it
They
is.
don't have a choice.
They already got the website ready for you.
Yeah, it can't be using my name, you know.
Do you what over the last 2 years, obviously with COVID, you did a couple fights flying out to Arkansas and some other places. Was there anything new you picked up in training over the last couple years? And how happy are you to not have to travel to Chechnya or or even Arkansas for that matter for a fight finally?
It feels great, to be honest. I just, you know, staying busy is really important for me. It allows me to keep the nerves out. You know, after 6 months, you normally have not so much the jitters or a fear of fighting, but it's more your timing. Your timing's a little off. So even with that last loss, I went into the fight sick, but I didn't want a long layoff, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna stay busy. It was my buddy's promotion, so there was a couple things that kind of went into it for me to take the fight, even though I was sick. And so right now, I'm actually really glad that I still took it, because from that fight to this fight, it hasn't been a long layoff. So even though I'm on a loss, actually probably helped me get this fight, and I'm gonna take advantage of the opportunity.
Well, it's kind of like I mean, like you mentioned your opponent's losses, and you're coming off of one. I mean, so it's almost kind of like you guys both are coming into this fight with the same sort of motivation. Like you don't want to have another loss. You both want to get a win, and because of the location and the weekend, trying to get that's all right. Trying to get eyeballs on you picking up a win at this event. So like, how do you? Is there any part of you that thinks there's an experience disparity between you and Pitolo? Because when I look at your records, it looks like, I mean, I feel like you might have an edge as far as being more experienced as far as dealing with losses and coming back and winning and stuff.
Yeah, I think my experience definitely is going to be a big factor in this fight. I mean, he's a tough guy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have took the fight. But I think in this fight, it's just going to be the more of me getting in his head right off the bat. He's on 4 fights loss, and as soon as I start taking over in the fight, then I think that'll help me get the win. You know what I mean? It'll put his mindset where he's probably going to lose the fight, and I want to keep him there. So I'm going to help him get there, and then I'm gonna keep him there and get my hand raised at the end.
Over the years, you've seemed to get in better shape as a mixed martial artist. Are you comfortable now at 185? Do you still have the idea of wanting to fight at 170? Does it matter about how much money's offered or what fight is offered in order to do the work to get to 170? Or do you really feel comfortable at 185?
I've always liked 170. They're more my height, so it's just more on a small circuit. Not many guys are going to fight me at 170. So if I move up in weight, they see that I'm a little shorter, they're a little bit bigger, then it gives them more incentive to take the fight. I have a decent name. So that's kind of why I fight at 185. I don't mind it. I've always, done well here. I have very few losses at 85. But 170 is always going to be my weight class. If I can make it into the bigger shows again, I can make 170, and I know I can compete against those guys. But for these smaller circuit shows, I have to give them a reason why to accept the fight. At 170, it's very hard for them to want to take that fight. They're trying to build their guys. And at 185, like I said, they feel like they have a little more advantage until they actually get in there and fight me, and then it doesn't work out so well for them.
For folks that are listening to this on audio only, I mean, you're Obviously, we know you train at Henderson's gym. Who's cornering you for this fight?
My friend Isaiah Alvarado, Ricardo Benuelos, and my brother Tristan Hernandez. They're going to be with me, and Tom Galicki won't be here on this one, but Ricardo was with me when we went to Chechnya, and he's been training with me for over 10 years. So he's got a lot of experience with me, and we know how to work together well. We're not injuring each other, and we're still getting that good push.
Are there current? I mean, I know that stuff hasn't necessarily been all officially announced. The tickets haven't gone on sale, so I don't know if there's any stuff. Are there any other fighters in your camp there, or out of Henderson's gym that might be on the card, or is trying to angle to get on the card still?
We had sent them in like a couple guys. Jeff Creighton might be on, but it was last minute. We just barely got that message this week, or I think 2 days ago. I got the message if we needed. We had a 170er, so I'm not sure if he got the fight, but I know they've been messaging back and forth. So as of right now, I know it's just me, but I've been trying to get guys on the card, so it makes it easier, makes it funner, you know.
Yeah, team atmosphere going out to Vegas.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would definitely help. But what's the vibe like as far as, we're obviously still kind of like dealing with the whole COVID situation. I know last time we had you on, we were talking about just staying ready, looking for opportunities. I mean, getting called up by someone because of all the logistics, fights falling out, and needing last minute guys. So what's the vibe out there like now?
To be honest, for a little bit, I was like kind of struggling and mentally with just because of injuries, but with the time off and she's not here right now, but Jen Fergursky, one of my training partners, Tony Fergursky, his wife's a masseuse, and I was going over my injuries with Tony, and he was like, dude, my wife knows how to work on that stuff, and she can help you out. So she's been helping me a grip. So the vibe is good right now. I feel great. My body's feeling really healthy, and I'll be ready to let my hands go again.
Do you you got the masseuse going now? I think you were doing a bunch of cryo stuff in the past. Are you still doing that as well?
No, it's a CVAC system, but yeah, I'm still doing that. That's it helps with like inflammation, and it helps heal the body overall, but it didn't get the main injury out, and I was kind of continuously struggling with that. I'd feel good, I'd come work out, and then it was back to where it was. So after a little bit, it starts to get old. So but luckily I was complaining at the right time. And Tony was like, dude, like, my wife will help you, she'll take care of that for you, don't worry about it.
Was it back related, or like knee stuff, or what was it?
I'm telling you that.
Yeah, he don't want to give his injuries away.
Not secret. No, but it was annoying me, where I felt like even during practice it wasn't allowing me to work the way I wanted to, and so I'm getting up there in age, so I was like, man, I might be calling it quits if this keeps up, Yeah. And luckily, this was actually right before the fight. I had got the fight, where he was like, look, dude, if you still want to fight and you're into it, I mean, you don't have to quit. We can work on that. But if your mental is like, you just don't want to do it anymore, that's a different story. But I was like, hell no, I want to keep going as long as I can. I love fighting. I've been doing it since I'm 6 years old, so it's really all I know. So once that happened, and then, like I said, things happen for a reason. I got the motivation after that last job I had, so I came back into training, and then I was like, okay, my injuries acting up, and then that happened, and we started fixing the problem, and I got the call, so here we are now.
So you mentioned earlier that you expect the fight to be a striking bout, but I also heard an interview that you did where you said you'd been working on some more of your scrambles and a little bit more of your takedowns and stuff. Is that it was obviously not so much in anticipation for this fight, just to keep building as a mixed martial artist?
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of the guys, when I've lost my fights, is by them taking me down and being able to hold me. So with the size advantage, I have to really work with bigger guys to make sure I'm getting up back onto my feet. So I was already kind of working on that just to make sure if I do take another fight, they're not gonna win like that. And if they do, it's gonna be a battle.
Mhm.
So I feel that if I can keep it standing, not many guys can beat me striking. So
Mhm.
not that I'm like crazy with everything, but I just have good setups. I can read my opponents well, and just with my experience, I know how to capitalize on their mistakes.
Do you think maybe sometimes guys think that's just the way because of like you're doing homework for your opponent, maybe guys do homework on you and they feel like that's
Yeah,
one of the holes in your game?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And the thing is, for a long time we haven't really had like a solid fundamental ground guy for a while. We did have a Pancho um, before our coach Pancho, but he's been gone for a while. And now we have Joe Stevenson in our camp. So
Mhm.
he's been definitely improving my game. And like for every submission and position that I have, he's been able to add like two or three more submissions. And
Oh, nice.
and just the mindset has been a little bit. I've been growing in that department, so I know if it goes there, and then obviously it's one thing to know, and then the cardio to have it. So I've been working on the cardio there. So the knowledge is there, and now I'm building the cardio to make sure that if we get to the ground, we're gonna be fine.
You mentioned you're fighting the night before Masvidal and Covington, a big 170 fight in the UFC. I don't know if you're friends with either one of those guys, but do you have a favorite in that fight?
Um, I've always liked Masvidal's style. When he was fighting for Strikeforce, when he fought Gilbert Melendez, I was on that card. I
Hmm.
felt he actually won that fight that night, and ever since then I was following him because he was, you know, he's a humble guy, but he also speaks his mind when he feels slighted, and I'm very similar to that. So that's got me in trouble, and but at the same time, it's I don't think we can live with ourselves if we don't speak up when they're messing with us. So I like his style, and I think he has a great style to be able to beat Covington, just because he hasn't been able to go as 100% when they did train, and I think that'll be a big factor in this fight. Covington is still a very good fighter, but I think Karma's going to catch up to him for all the stuff that he's been doing. It's really not his character, from what I understand. I don't know him, but I think the stuff that had played out with them, I think it'll eat him up a little bit in the fight.
Is there any concerns as far as like anybody out there have jitters as far as like you know with everything going on? I know it's in Vegas, so Vegas is pretty safe as far as like the way people react and handle to the COVID situation. Looks like numbers are coming down everywhere. So like, I mean, how do you keep your eye on the prize and stay focused with training with all the bullshit in the news that keeps popping up and making people nervous?
Uh, to be honest, I don't really even think about it. I throw my headphones on. I get to work. I'm very quiet when I'm in the gym. I'm pretty much to myself, and other than the guys I work with on a regular basis, my team and Jason, who was just in the ring with me. So I try to keep my head focused on what I love to do, and try to avoid the drama. That's just there's always drama everywhere. So
Yeah.
if I can avoid it by throwing on some headphones, and I mean the worst they can ever say about me is that I'm quiet and I'm an asshole. I don't really talk to people, but I'm always nice to everybody that when I am talking to them. So the most part, I just avoid drama. I just throw in my headphones and I get to work and I go home.
Yeah.
No, and that's what a lot of us appreciate about you and martial artists like you, and I could see why I think Covington's got a lot of an act, but that's like the total opposite of you throughout your whole career has been straight up and respectful and done the right thing, at least publicly. I don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, and I'm sure the wild world of the wild, wild west of MMA, there was some stuff going on. But how do we get one of those sweet Menifee Maniac shirts to wear cage side for your fight?
I'll be making hopefully a new batch pretty soon. I got to go in and talk to my guys, but yeah, man, I'm coming out with a new one, signature Menifee Maniac shirt, and so that should be my next walkout shirt. And I guess before you guys head out, I know you guys were looking to get tickets, so we can always meet up. We're in town, so we'll meet up.
Put me down for 4 tickets and 4 T-shirts for the and we'll be sitting front row, going crazy for the Menifee Maniac and the local guy, especially out here. And like I said, a class act through the history of MMA while competing. We don't want to take up too much of your time. You need to get back to training.
Don't get cold.
You have any sponsors or anything you want to throw out? Anything you want to throw out before we end this?
Yeah, I'd like to throw a shout out to Juan's Rotisserie Chicken and here in Temecula. They always hook me up, and Fresh Fritz also here in Temecula. They've been really taking care of my meal preps and keeping me healthy, let my weight drop off properly. Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center, who I'm now at this moment I'm still the longest member here, and all my teammates have been helping me out get ready for this fight. Even before I knew I had the fight, they were helping me get ready and just get my mind right. Tony Fergursky and Jen Fergursky for helping me obviously get my body back in shape to where I feel confident to take this fight. And so yeah, also my new manager, Alexis Romero and Summer. I don't know her last name, so please forgive me, Summer. Jared Fiora, they've been helping me with my management. They got me on IEHP, like all this stuff that I've never had before. They've been helping me out with medicals and all kinds of stuff. So they've been a big part of this camp and hopefully future camps coming up. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Trident Fight Gear. They sponsor my gloves and CVAC System, who obviously keep me healthy year round and allow me to do this year round. And so yeah, that's it right now.
Awesome. Well, everybody tune in. I believe the event's on BN Sports and as well as the UFC Fight Pass on March 4th. The first mixed pro fight for Tuff-N-Uff, headlined by Maki Pitolo and Fernando Gonzalez. So we all look forward to that. Feel free to follow the show at Combat Hour on Twitter, Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour on Instagram. Follow me, Matthew Hawkins, at MMAHawk21 on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Ed at Carbazol on Twitter, Carbeerzol on Instagram, and Old Head Carb on Twitch. Fernando, I'll keep in touch about those tickets and shirts, brother.
And guys, follow me at Menifee Maniac on all social media platforms. I'm trying to keep my social media game up, so thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
And fans can check out our video podcast on allaccessmma.com for this replay. Thanks, Fernando. Have a great training, and look to see you fight in about a month.
Right on, brother. Thank you.
Have a good night.